I think I need to turn on the original audio. Hang on.
Yeah.
And that's another problem. Because it's a new Zoom account, that setting's not enabled.
Awesome. All right.
I forgot about that. I didn't see it in the list, though. I may have missed it. I would have checked that if I had seen it. So, we will have to just roll with what we got.
All right, folks. Make sure we're live here.
And where's my background? Where is my background? Hang on.
I see we've got 2 likes already. Pretty awesome. Sorry, folks. We're just getting technical difficulties are the word of the day. We just had to switch Zoom accounts. That was a fun experience. So, all right. Michael, are you here?
I'm still here.
Let's get started, shall we?
Give me just a second. You want to go ahead and blur your background as well. New account, and all that, so.
Yeah, I can. I'm just working on chat. Hey, Doug. All right, folks. Let's just go ahead and roll with this. We got Doug Oliver watching. Anyone else watching us today? If you are, feel free to say hi in chat. We're always wanting to have chat messages, folks. So,
give us just a second. I need to get my chat running as well.
Zach says hi. So we've got Zach and Doug. Anyone else? If you're here, feel free to say hi. We're gonna have a fun episode today, but yeah. So, what we're gonna do is
Oops.
What, Michael?
No, I accidentally, hang on just a minute. Okay.
All right. So, folks, if you're watching, say hi. We're just getting started. We just had some technical difficulties, so. All right. So, folks,
come on, Google.
If you're watching, say hi. Michael, I hear myself.
I know. Google was trying to get me to do stuff and refreshed my chat window because they have to have a dialogue come up. Google's trying to get me to set up a Chrome profile, and it was like, oh God, stop.
Chrome profiles are nice, but not right now.
Right, and your technology always wants you to do something when you're actually busy doing something else. How do I get this off of my screen? It's also annoying that it was coming out of my speakers instead of, where it's supposed to come out of. Technical difficulties, folks.
Welcome to the stream, Whitney. We got 3 people watching, Michael. We want to go ahead and get this started.
No, hang on just a second. Just a moment.
What are you trying to do?
I'm not getting chat, so...
I am, but yeah.
Give me just a second to get that going. And, audio, hang on. Hang on, just
But yeah, feel free to like the video. Let's see if we can get up to 5 likes.
yeah, and while you guys are waiting for us, talk amongst yourselves, and we will be with you guys shortly for the episode.
We're just having some slight issues, but we're gonna get into all of that today. So
we changed some things, so it's okay. That's set to default. And
if you're not subscribed to the channel, feel free to do that. We've got a lot of content coming, and you don't want to miss it. Michael's going to be going live later on today with some Minecraft or some kind of game. I'm not sure exactly.
Yep.
We're probably
it'll be some Minecraft.
We're probably going to plan that for about 8 o'clock or 8:30, Michael?
Yep, that sounds like a plan.
8:30 Central, y'all. Plan on some game streaming. We're going to do a Discord channel as well, so we'll have people in voice. It seems to work out pretty well. So, folks, you'll want to stick around after Techopolis Live for that. And I can't blur my background, so it looks like you guys are going to see a bunk bed because thanks, modified by a little student apartment complex to have a office in what is normally a bedroom. So.
And my chat, for whatever reason, Chrome has decided that it's going to remove my extension. So you will have to run chat unless I can get speech chat going while we get started. Chat. So awesome. All right, let me get back over to my Zoom.
Do we want to record this, Michael?
We haven't been, but if you
I didn't know if we wanted to do recaps on Taste Talk Talks.
We can.
Let's record.
Yeah, and if you record, it should go. There we go. I think because we have 2 licenses now, we can share that. Pool
I record locally.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I don't record the cloud. And that's some. We might as well talk about Zoom during this episode, Michael.
Yeah, we
keep
should.
Bringing it up a lot.
Right. So, let's
get started.
Yep.
All right, ready?
All right. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Techopolis Live. I'm Michael.
And I'm Taylor, and Michael's internet seems to be having a problem at the moment, but I am here, and so is Michael.
Yep. We have technical difficulties before the episode, and then we have internet issues.
It's just wonderful. Oh, yeah, and did I forget we had calendar issues, too, so we'll talk about all that. We got a lot to talk about today.
Right. So it's been a busy week, and
yes.
We have a lot of content. If you are in chat, we've already talked to you guys before we got started with the episode, but say hello, let us know you're there. And we love doing this show. This is our way to talk advanced tech with you guys and to really get out there and talk about what both of our passions is, and that's technology, and not just how to turn on a computer, but actually
how to take advantage of technology to help you to be able to help yourself, but also to motivate you to be able to help make the world more accessible, right?
Or just to have fun talking about really neat stuff that most people don't think about.
Right.
So yeah, that's why we do the show, because it's different, it's interesting. So we're here to have fun and to talk about all those things that may not show up on other shows.
Right.
So one of the things that's interesting, I think, that is not talked about much. It's been mentioned on a few technology shows. But apparently there is a new rule that's being worked through the EU that all cell phones have to have USB-C. And I find this very interesting because there's a obvious target that's being painted on a certain company. And, Apple, in other words. And, it's like, well, they want it's the EU's way of saying, well, every phone, if it's going to be sold here, has to have a USB-C, and that's right at you, Apple.
Yep. So that is interesting. I'm not sure how well they're going to take that.
Well, and I don't think Apple would stop selling in the EU. It's one of their bigger markets, but I think China is their biggest market that they try to aim for, but I don't think that would get them to stop selling in the EU. They may, and that's kind of the issue is that all these countries are saying if you're going to do business here, you have to follow our rules. So, for example, I believe South Korea, I think it is going to start making or is trying to make Apple, if they're going to do business there, offer alternative app stores on their on iPhones. So, it's not just, I think they're seeing what's going on here in the U.S. and saying, oh, well, we can take advantage of that and see if we can get Apple to cave by asking them to do these things in our country. And so if that sets a precedent worldwide, then we can do that.
Right.
So Taylor, do you think that that's going to, the USB-C thing and the App Store thing, do you think that's going to make a difference to Apple?
Yeah, I think they're really going to start to, get mad and be like, well, I don't want to do this. I feel like what's going to happen is that they're going to start to try to challenge these countries in court or some other mechanism, and try to be like, no, I don't have to do this, right? Because they're a big corporation. And so they're like, I don't want to do these rules, right? Everyone's trying to put me through all these rules. And it's just too much, and they could try to, be like, oh, it's just a burden, right? But I feel like there's a lot of legal challenges.
Well, I think that Apple is going to, and a lot of these companies will say, there was a time where, they're going to evaluate the size of the country and the population and how many people use those devices, because there's another cell phone manufacturer that's very popular in South Korea, Samsung. That's where they're from. And so a lot of people there have those phones. A lot of people have Android phones. iPhone is not as popular in some of those countries. And so Apple might say, well, you know what? We're not missing anything by leaving that market. And I want to compare that to here in Austin. We had a period of time when Austin made some rules and said Lyft and Uber have to do these things to be able to operate in the city. Well, they left. They just upped and left. And it was not cool for a while. We had a lot of other services that came in, like I think one was called Ride Austin. They're probably still around. That did actually follow the regulations, but Lyft said, no, we're not going to do that, and they left. So they're now back in Austin, Lyft and Uber are, but it was, a fight to, they were saying, we're not going to stand up to these cities telling us what we can and can't do. And so they left a lot of cities, and kind of wondering if it's going to be like that at some point for big tech. And so, chat, what do you think? What do you guys think out there?
Well, we have a chat message that from Fantastical 84. The USBC thing should definitely be challenged. ESP on the consumer end, especially on the consumer end.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I totally agree. I think it would be nice for all phones to have USB-C, just because, a standardization would be great. I really love standards, but I don't think that it should be a government mandate that a thing be the way it is. Because when you do that, you kind of are saying that, that government's going to mandate creativity. And I kind of feel like that's kind of happening in a bit in the accessibility world in a way, yes. where lawsuits are saying, I don't think that this website is good enough and it's going bye-bye, or the company is going to go bye-bye because they don't have the money to spend on accessibility. And I feel like, and I also feel like some companies don't argue their right for the ability to say undue burden. Mm-hmm. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Taylor? You've done a lot of accessibility work.
Oh, yeah. And again, I'm not going to go into the whole legality of it, because that could just be a whole conversation on its own, and it can get a little bit messy and toxic. But here's what I would say. the creativity definitely gets stripped away when it is able to be, stripped from the people, because they're like, oh, we have to do all these regulations and now we can't make anything that we want to do, and we make these crazy websites that we think are accessible but they're actually not. So all it's really doing is making things worse. In some of that, right? It's good to have some regulation, but we don't want too much, or else it spurs creativity in a negative light. But then it also makes it harder for web developers and others to get their stuff online.
Yeah, if there's too much, I'm all for making things accessible and to do the best you can. If a creator can do what they need at the beginning and make it accessible first and still make it a good, thing, then that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do we have any more chat messages?
Fantastical 84 says it would be great, but it should not be required. And you're never going to get a one and done scenario in the tech world.
Yes, agreed. Very well said. So this USBC thing, it's just it's going to be a hassle, I think, especially in the future if they, And what if Apple just decides, well, we're just going to get around that altogether and go portless, and people are not going to be happy about that?
Nope.
I wouldn't. I don't think we're ready.
Right. Because the dongles wouldn't even work.
Nope. We're not ready for Bluetooth to be our wireless audio, and we're not ready for Qi chargers to be our way to charge our phones.
Could they go portless in the EU? That wouldn't be practical either.
Well, I mean, they could, but, I don't think that they would want to go and have a certain port for a certain country. I think they would be wanting to do, or a certain group of countries. I think they would want to one size fits all, because that's what Apple does, is they,
Yeah, that sounds like that's a bad idea.
But, I mean, I think if they are going to go portless, they're going to do it across the line, so. So yeah, that's my big tech news that I've been hearing, and we had so many things come out with the Apple event, and we did an unboxing of the iPhone 13 Pro Max on the channel, and Taylor edited it and put it on her channel, Tay's Tech Talks, and that came out so awesome, because when she put up the video, she put some awesome descriptions in there of kind of saying versus iPhone 12 Pro Max, and YouTube picked this great picture frame from the video of me holding both phones. So
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So what's up, Taylor? What's going on?
I was trying to put the link in the chat.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
But of course, like I said, I'm sorry if the keyboard is loud, y'all. I'm on the internal because, my splitter got ate by the Roomba. So.
Technology ate other technology.
Yep.
Funny how that goes. That is one thing I do want to get, is a Roomba. Those things are nice.
So. Sorry for the loud typing, but that's just going to have to be how it is for a little while. So, Y'all, I put the link in the chat. Feel free to check that out. And if you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I've got content coming out 3 times a week, if not more. So, tutorials on Tuesdays, Final Cut Fridays, and a live stream. So.
We would like to get Taylor up to like 300 subs in the next week, right?
That'd be nice. Yep. So if y'all aren't subscribed, feel free to do that, and yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. Do we have any new chat messages?
We do not at the current time have any chat messages, just the one that I sent of the link. And let me know, chat, if the link is not clickable. We've had issues with that in the past, so.
And sometimes it's not even showing up.
Well, it's showing up this time. But
that's good. We don't even have Payon to talk to us about, tacos and food and all that kind of stuff. Although, Taylor, you had Chipotle, so that's close to tacos.
I did, and we've got another topic to bring up. Apparently, the next macOS beta is deplorably awful. So,
oh, no.
Here's the deal. Okay, so here's the deal, folks. So, hey, I just got done dealing with macOS 12.8. Excuse me. I just got done dealing with macOS 12 Beta 8. I implore you who are in public beta not to go to Beta 8. And that is the chat message. Basically, yeah, it's like, I implore you to not go to Beta 8 in macOS.
So who's the chat message from this time?
That is from Zachary.
It's from Zach. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know, Zach. I'm wondering what is up with Beta 8.
And the chat message... Oh, sorry, Michael.
Oh, no, go ahead. And
the chat message apparently did not post the links. So, folks, if you're not sure my channel, go to Taste Tech... Well, close to Taste Tech Talks, but... Oh, boy. Go to taylorstechtalks.com/YouTube, and you can find my channel. Zach says, it's so bad that I'm tempted to go back to macOS 11.
Well, I think for the channel, we would need, to really say that it's bad, we would need some information of why.
Yeah. So, provide more information.
Yeah, we would need some more feedback on that, because we could say it's bad all day, but if we don't report the bugs and we don't talk about what's going on, we don't know. The funny thing is my computer was trying to get me to update to that right before the stream, and I'm like, nope, I am busy.
Oh, geez, that could have been catastrophically awful.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and it's macOS is, when Apple puts out things, sometimes they don't test. And so I'm, and they've had a history of doing this. Like, most of the beta cycle is great, and those last few betas they put out are like, oh, man, what happened to you guys?
Yep.
So,
okay.
Let's talk. So, what's up?
All right. Yeah, Michael, it'd be really helpful if you could get access to chat.
Yes, I know.
We got a lot coming in, so.
So, Taylor, why don't you, while I do that, why don't you talk about Fantastical and what we've done with that?
Before I talk about Fantastical, should I talk about our time zone nightmares, Michael?
Yeah, explain what happened with that and how, I guess that's kind of how we got to Fantastical.
Okay. So here's the deal, folks. So whether you know it or not, maybe you have no idea, you obviously have probably figured out that most of the time when we talk about our streams, we usually mention 2 different time zones, right? Eastern and Central. The reason being is that I, who live in Michigan, and then Michael lives in Texas, 2 different time zones, and that can create chaos when you're trying to deal with calendar events. So what happened was, for example, in my Calendly, which is my scheduling tool that I have my clients book their appointments on, they can schedule appointments in their time zone and it will convert and do all that kind of fun stuff. The problem is that first off, I get a nice little calendar invite yesterday morning at 6 a.m. And I'm thinking, what? I do not have a meeting in 10 minutes. This is what is this all about? So, of course, I'm like, oh, no, I got to try to wake up and figure out what's happening because I was, like, asleep and I heard the calendar sound. I was like, uh-oh. So, I wake up and what happened was, so my client who booked a 6 a.m. meeting in Pacific time zone, that was all fine and dandy. But what happened was the calendar app decided it was going to remind me at 6 a.m. Eastern and 6 a.m. Central. So in other words, I got 2 different invites, 2 different reminders. And what happened was it would remind me at my time, at 6 a.m. instead of when it was supposed to occur, which was at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. So long story short, we had some calendar and time zone nightmares today. So what happened? Well, the problem is that we had a bunch of different things happening. We had Google accounts getting switched to different time zones, and we had just a whole bunch of nonsense because what happens when you work with a remote team is that sometimes things go haywire when people work in different time zones. Yeah, so we're like, great, we got to figure this out. So we have known about this app called Fantastical. And it's a really awesome calendar app. And it does calendar and tasks and all these different things. And it's pretty affordable. I mean, it is subscription based. But they do have plans that starts at, I believe, like $3 something per single user, or $5.45 or $25 per month. I'm sorry, per year, billed monthly for the family plan. So in our case, like I said, we've got a few different people on it, so we have a business. But either way, you can be able to get Fantastical. But it's a Mac and iOS app, and it allows you to be able to sync your calendars, and you can do tasks, and you can even integrate with apps like Todoist and other things. And if you're interested in some of those, I have links in the description. Now, Fantastical is awesome because it can help you with natural language processing. Now, what it does is I can literally say, weekly team meeting every Saturday at 3 p.m. Central. 3 p.m. And then it would convert based on, the different time zones, right? So usually I would write these events in Central, since basically the moral of this story this week is that we all decided that we're working in one time zone because it just got too difficult to figure it all out all of a sudden and trying to convert things, and things weren't converting, and oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. So, you gotta love time zones. So, I wish we could all be in one. That would be very helpful. But anyways, basically, you can have events that you can recur, and you can integrate with Zoom, so you can create one-click Zoom meetings. And it's better than like the Apple Calendar natural language processing because it allows you to do it more robustly, and it allows you to have more features, and it will sync with my Google and Office 365 calendars and all these different integrations. So, Todoist and Fantastical work really well together, and I really love Fantastical. Fantastical84 says, I have used a Fantastical free version for years, and she says it's awesome. It's super awesome to hear. Like I said, we're starting to love it. You do get a 14-day free trial, so if you want to try it out for yourself, go ahead and download that and see how you like it. But honestly, it helps solve so many of our problems.
Yeah, and I'm back, by the way. I'm caught up on chat. The family plan is not bad when you consider what you get. In the past, you had to buy it on iPhone, iPad, and Mac, and any platform that you wanted it on. Now you just subscribe to it, pay per year, and it's like $64 or something around there, and that's not a bad deal for what you're getting. Compared to what they used to charge, and you get CardHop, which is their contacts management software program, and it's really neat. So, highly recommend that you check out Fantastical. Some people feel like they have subscriptions forever, subscription fatigue. I'm fine with it because you're going to buy this stuff anyway. You might as well subscribe, support the
AKA.
Yep, and support the developer and get some cool stuff out there. I like that there's join links for FaceTime now and Zoom on the calendar screens.
I do as well.
And one of the things that we experienced today, we were doing a meeting about some marketing as a business meeting a little earlier today, and and earlier today we were doing some a marketing meeting, and we were using FaceTime links, and because if Taylor would join on our phone, it would say Taylor aren't, But because she's not on the latest version, the beta of Mac OS, it says maybe Taylor aren't. And it's interesting that, my speech chat just cut off. That was interesting. Wow, that was odd. But it's interesting because Apple, I think, should have released these two releases out in parity, because now you have Mac users that cannot do the FaceTime link thing as easily as the iOS users, and I feel like they kind of are missing the mark on their software yet again. And Doug put out there that he feels like ever since Steve Jobs passed away that Apple's become a little bit lackadaisical. And I don't know that it was exactly when he passed away, but I feel like they're not doing as much testing before they release as they used to. The quality on software has gone down. The hardware quality, I feel like, has stayed the same, but what the software is definitely not on par with what we would expect from what we had back in the Steve Jobs era. Taylor, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I really wasn't really around to understand, everything that happened in the era, so I really can't give an objective, opinion of it, but it's definitely gone downhill, for sure. Definitely gone downhill.
Yep, for sure. And it's interesting, I was reading over the chats about macOS, and and it's interesting, and there are betas where there's a lot of slowdowns, there's some busies. Hopefully they don't keep that, but it's in the startup disk issues. It's just, it is a beta. As long as it doesn't make it to production, we're good. So put in those bug reports and make sure they know, and that's the other problem is that when you install betas, you're installing it over the top of already existing files and things like that were also in beta. And so sometimes those things do corrupt each other and cause issues. Sometimes it does just gives you cause for do a time machine backup or some kind of backup and then reset your computer if you have issues. I mean, Taylor's done that a few times, not because of betas, but because of other issues, right?
Oh, yeah. I've reset other things, not even computers, but for example, I've reset my accounting software, QuickBooks. In fact, I'll probably have to do it again tomorrow. I've reset, just any, like I said, sometimes it's just needed, right? If it's super messed up, sometimes that's just what's going to have to happen.
Yeah, sometimes it's just good to wipe it away and then just start over. Or another great program is Clean My Mac. That thing is great. Try that. And that may help, actually, because it'll run scripts that Apple should run but may not have.
Yep, that's another great program if you can get access to that.
So, and you can get that monthly through Setapp, SETAPP, and it's a great service. So, what do you guys think in chat? What are y'all's thoughts on everything we've been talking about so far?
Yeah, what are y'all's thoughts?
So, have we talked about the Zoom issues we've been having?
No. So we talked about the calendar issues, but do we want to explain what we did?
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, I'll do that. So, we decided that it would be, for time zones and other reasons, and the ability to do collaborative work and things like that, we combined our Zoom accounts to one main account with, where we're both users.
2 licensed users.
Mm-hmm.
And it came down to, like I said, time zones and collaboration, and also the ability to use Zoom Phone Basic. Is that free, Michael?
I believe so. I think you can add Zoom Phone Basic. You know what? I'm not sure. We may have to have I think to maybe use that, you may have to have one. Well, I don't know, because you could get Zoom Meeting Basic, which is a free account.
Right.
So I wonder if you can add Zoom Phone.
Right. Basically, where we call each other and we could just get right into a Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm. And we could add any basic user and then add an extension to them and have like an internal phone system.
But they just can't call out, right? That's just how.
Mm-hmm. Zach, I want to address something that you just mentioned. You mentioned that you saw a video about the bad touch targets on the iPad mini and screens being swished. The problem with that is not a software bug. There are apps. I've seen it. The screens on Apple apps are fine. What's happening is, and Apple sent out an email about this to developers, and it said that if you use auto layout and those kind of things in your app, and you build your app appropriately, it will be just fine. But a lot of apps don't do that. They use allows full screen to scale their app, and this means that it will look incorrect on any new hardware. So what they told people is just recompile and rebuild your app in Xcode 13, resubmit it to the store, and it's going to be fine. So, the biggest thing with Apple is people think, they messed up the screens and how things look. And that's one thing, with Apple is they usually have a reason. That one right there is not necessarily software related. They have a different resolution on that screen size. So I would keep that in mind. And that happens a lot on YouTube, is they get out there and just kind of clickbait and fearmonger because people are like, oh, I bought this new iPad, but it doesn't work. Why? Always ask why, because you never know why something is, not working the way it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. Yep. And now Android's a different story, because Android originally didn't even have, iOS didn't have support for tablets until iOS 3.2. And Android took to about Android 3. Well, Android 3 Honeycomb was the tablet release. And it didn't do well, even as a tablet release, because apps were not built, and really still aren't built, for tablets on Android. They have support for that, but a lot of the tablet apps on Android are just stretched out phone apps. So it's interesting, people are always worried, well, this app doesn't look great on iPad. It's very interesting when you compare that. Well, Google even themselves stopped making Android tablets. There's very few Android tablet makers, like Samsung and a few others, and that's about it. What are your thoughts on all that, Taylor?
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's definitely, a lot of people try to use clickbait, right? They try to get people excited and riled up for no reason, because that will get them views. And, like I said, I'm a YouTuber myself, and I just don't believe in, that whole thing, right? So just, watch what you see, like I said, because there are some times where people do clickbait to try to get more views, right? And so, just like I said, there's no reason to really be afraid. You just have to, understand what's true and what isn't.
Do the research, Yep. And a lot of these YouTubers don't do the research because they know they can get people riled up and be like, oh, well, this and this and this.
Yep.
There's, I always tell people, it doesn't matter what it's about. There's always three sides to every story. The side the side you're hearing online, the company side, and the actual truth.
Yep.
So it's very interesting what these places will do. And I just think that, if you watch really good tech pundits, like, anytime Rene Ritchie talks about Apple, he is an Apple fanboy. He really is. But he's going to tell you the truth. Really, he's one of the better YouTubers out there. And they have the show Mac Break Weekly from This Week in Tech. And that's a really good show. And then who's the other? I was thinking about somebody else that does Apple stuff. I'm forgetting who I was thinking of.
Well, it wouldn't be iOS today, but
that's done through This Week in Tech. But there's a lot of great channels that do great iOS stuff, and so and there's great channels that do Android stuff, and they This Week in Tech does some great thing on both. And my speech chat, this extension is messing up.
Do you have more than one window open, Michael?
I do not, because I'm on the Chrome extension.
I've never heard of them, of that channel, Zach. And my Chrome extension is working totally fine, Michael.
Was it, let's see. I have not heard of that channel, Zach. I have not viewed that one. So, it's interesting what different people say on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's just really, you never know what's going to be said and things like that. So, so we went over the Zoom stuff, and I guess it was I guess the Microsoft event was oh yeah, let's talk about Amazon. Let's talk about Amazon. So, Taylor, what do you think of the Astro?
I don't know if I really have an opinion. I mean, I kind of think it's kind of crazy, honestly.
So, if people don't know what the Amazon Astro is, it's a robot, $1,000 robot. Yeah, $1,000.
That's too expensive.
And it is a robot that follows you around at your house, and can go and tell different things to different people at your house. Little creepy.
Yeah.
And if you look it up online, like, the eyes for that thing are huge, like overly big, and it's like, okay, if I were to be asleep at night and look down and just see those giant cameras, I would jump out of bed. Yeah, I would. If I jumped out of bed and or saw that and woke up to see those cameras, I would jump out of bed like, who's watching me?
Well, the only time that could be useful is if burglars are trying to get into your house.
Right, but I mean, you could have that thing on whenever you're gone, and that would be one thing. But I don't know. I just think it's kind of creepy. I mean, if it actually had something it could do for you other than watch you. I mean, supposedly there's a blood pressure add-on, and that's kind of neat. Okay, I'll give it that. But if it only watches you, no. No.
Like, what's the point?
Okay, can you imagine having that? I mean, like, say you're in a family of like 5 people or whatever, and you have 2 young kids or teenagers. The jokes that could be played on people with that would be terrible. I mean, like, you have that thing roll into somebody's room and say, I see you, or something like that.
Yep. Because that is possible.
Yeah. And, Zach, that is possible. What happens when people hack these things?
Say what now, Michael?
What happens when people do hack these things? Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. All of a sudden, the astro's rolling towards you, and it's not because it's following you because of machine learning and stuff. No, somebody somewhere else is controlling it. That would be bad.
Yep.
So it's very, like, I don't know. I'm not cool with it. Like, $1,000. Why that much money?
Yeah. Why?
And then they announced a few other devices. They announced their new security camera called the Blink, which I'm sure the blindness population is going to just, very funny, Zach. Very funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, and this new camera is called the Blink camera, and I'm sure the whole blindness community, because apparently, and I didn't know this because I guess I didn't grow up in the time period, apparently Blink is a derogatory term for somebody that's blind. I did not know this
Really?
until later on. Yes. And a lot of people will pick on each other by calling them that name. And so I read that this camera was called the Blink camera and just laughed hysterically because I'm like, wow, if only people knew the puns that were made or that can be made about that. I don't think most people in that will see this thing will even think about that. I have never heard of the Blink security system.
Me neither.
And I thought it was a new thing because it's advertised by Amazon, and they already have the Ring cameras. But these the Blink cameras are very cheap. They're like $50, and I think they have some that are $30. Yes. So I've never heard of that system, but it looks like it's advertised by Amazon because they had it in their product showcase. So it's very interesting. All these things. They apparently came out with another Echo, and they also have a projector system called the Amazon Glow, I believe. Oh, they're made to work with the Echo shows. Okay.
Interesting.
But it's interesting because the Echo Show has a camera built in, or at least some of them do. I wonder if some of them don't, but my 10-inch Echo Show has a camera. I do not want to get the. Oh, that's it. That was the device I was thinking of. They came out with a 15-inch Echo Show.
Oh, that's a little bit massive.
I mean, I guess they think that people will use it like a TV in their bedrooms or somewhere to watch stuff. Maybe. I don't know. The one thing that I like about the Echo Show is one of the things that I like about the Echo Show is the screen reader on it with the voice view will actually do what's it called? It speaks with the Echo with the A Lady voice.
Right.
So I think that's really neat. So, what do you guys think, chat? What all about all this is interesting to you guys?
Chat's been really active tonight. It's been awesome, y'all.
It really has. I mean, I've really enjoyed chat tonight. You guys have been awesome, and we do these shows for us to talk about what we think is interesting, and and it's funny because I'm doing my developer job during the day, and I'm like, man, if only I knew how to do some of this CSS stuff. And Taylor's like, well, why don't you try this? And it's like, it's really cool to, have the workspace that we do just to be able to bounce ideas off each other.
And that's the other thing too is that we all know that a lot of us are working from home, right? Y'all can kind of see that I'm tongue-tied at the moment. But, it's really awesome when, even though we're working from home, we can have a group of friends and we can say, okay, we're going to work during the day and we're going to bounce ideas off of each other. It really sparks creativity and, it really helps us to solve these problems like, oh my gosh, these time zones are like going absolutely crazy. So we were able to solve these problems just by talking to people and, having a workspace. And I think, like I said, especially if you are kind of self-employed, you miss out on that experience because you are working for yourself and you may not always have other people to bounce ideas off of.
Mm-hmm. And, that's why like Discord and Zoom and a lot of these apps are really amazing because they allow for people to connect from anywhere and you don't have to be, in one place. You can just connect whenever you're available. You're like, all right, got a meeting, got to run, and, you're gone. And so I think that there's a lot of use for I think that this is I think that these services are really cool for anybody, and not just people like us who are blind or low vision, but right. For anybody, anyone. Because yep. You can have video if you want it, you can have audio, you can share your screen, you can do all kinds of things that you may not have thought about before the pandemic. They always say the stocks for Zoom and all those things skyrocketed, and Discord went from being a gaming first community space to a everybody. Yep. They focused on everybody, and that's kind of amazing. And we do these shows through Zoom. And we
had some craziness earlier with that too.
Yeah, because we just set these things up, and it's like, oh, we need to go enable. A lot of Zoom features on an account are off by default, and it's crazy what's actually off. I've had my Zoom Pro account for so long that I kind of forgot what was already on.
Me too.
So.
And I may do a video about that, y'all. If you're interested in a video on Tutorials Tuesday, say in the chat if you want to know how to configure Zoom admin settings, because it is a pain in the rear end. So if anybody's interested, say that you would like that in chat, and maybe we can make that happen.
For instance, we kind of forgot that we had to go turn off or turn on original sound because you have to enable that for your meetings or it's not going to be there.
Correct. Or the custom live streaming service.
Right. Other live streaming services are there, but the custom one is not. It is not on by default, which is very interesting. So, wow, we've had a lot to talk about. We've been going for a little under an hour, but you got anything else, Taylor?
No, I think that, like I said, we'll call this a wrap. I mean, it's been a crazy week, but y'all, it's been awesome, and like I said, after the stream, it'll definitely have a better title. So.
Yeah, we'll come up with something cool, and we're gonna do our usual. We'll do the show again next week, and we may have more. We may stream something during the weekend. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
We never know. So we're spontaneous.
Yep, you just might want to be subscribed, and
also
subscribe. With our new Discord. That's something we need to talk about, Michael.
Oh, yes, we do. So I do a lot of game streams on this channel. So we thought it would be cool to have people come up and talk with us while, I'm playing games and relaxing. And you guys can come hang out with us while I game stream. So we have the Techopolis live Discord. And we will put that in the description of the video when once it finishes processing and Taylor puts a title. We'll put that in the description, and you guys can join and come hang out with us during our game streams, which will be happening in a little bit once I have some dinner.
Yeah.
So,
Do you still think about 8 Central?
yeah, 8 Central at the latest will be when we do this.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, folks.
All right, that's going to do it for today. And yeah, we went through a lot of cool stuff. So,
You did.
so yeah, Taylor, tell people again, because we couldn't paste the link in the chat. We need to really get in there on both of our channels and fix that where we could put links.
We do, but here's what y'all need to do. Go to taylorstechtalks.com/YouTube. That will bring you to my YouTube channel, and you can be able to look at all my videos. I've got everything separated into playlists, and so taylorstechtalks.com/YouTube is going to be where you are going to be at. And one more thing real quick. So my WordPress group course, y'all, has been a smash hit. Basically, there's only 2 more spots in the live section, but I've only had like 5 or 10 people ask me to put it on demand. So we're also opening up the on demand section, which will have the videos released every Friday while the live class is going on, and they'll be edited from that week's of recording. So tacourses.net will bring you right to the courses platform that I have created. So tacourses.net if you're interested in my WordPress course.
Yep. And do you want to talk about, since we're on, Techopolis Live, do you want to talk about the next big thing for your courses website?
Yeah. So y'all, it's going to be really awesome because I'm going to be opening up the courses platform for creators. So maybe you're a creator who wants to create a course on something, but you're just like, oh, I don't want to deal with the infrastructure. Don't worry, because we will have a place where you can be able to have it and you'll be able to make money. And then obviously we would take like a commission, right, for managing the platform. But you could be able to have your own course and you could be able to be successful on our platform and have all the infrastructure ready for you and have, production assistance from the team and all that stuff. It'll be really awesome. So tacourses.net, and keep an eye on the emails and Twitter and social media for when that is. And if you're maybe interested in creating a course, let me know. And that way I kind of get some interest from creators. It could be anything from, Swift UI, Michael's doing that course, to, I'm doing maybe a Final Cut course eventually. It could be anything. And it could be either live or on demand. So you have a lot of options and it's really cool. So, yeah. So if anybody's interested and maybe wanted to create a course, feel free to email me or contact me on the course's website as well. And we can kind of gauge some interest, and we're going to go ahead and roll that out in the next few weeks or so.
Yep. Awesome. So I think that's going to do it for today, and we will be back next week with a new episode, and stay tuned for some live streaming here coming up pretty soon.
Yep. All right, y'all. Are we going to see you guys? We'll see you guys later.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.